Hello guys, my name is Harry Tucker and I'm filling in on the Daily Exchange today for Fred Shibesta. And today we've got a top coin analysis with our good mate Trader Cobb. Ripple arrives on independent reserve as new Ripple lawsuits get launched. The Huobi exchange has arrived in Australia. There's so much more coming up and it's all coming up right after this. Welcome back. So let's dive right into what's going on with Bitcoin and the heat map of everything in crypto. If we take a look at the screen right now, we can have a look at everything that's happening in the world of crypto. So Bitcoin has dropped 0.1%. It briefly jumped over to 6,800, specifically on Bitfinex over the weekend, but now it's down 1%. Bitcoin Cash has taken an even bigger hit. That's down 2.69. Ripple's taken a hit as well. ETH is down about 2%. Interesting that a lot of them aren't as linked to Bitcoin as we're used to. Like EOS is down 5%. So EOS has had a bit of a rough time in the last couple of weeks. There's been a few things that have gone wrong with its development and launching, and especially when it came to the staking. So now that's down 5% compared to Bitcoin's 1%. Used to seeing all these things kind of stick onto Bitcoin a bit more than what's going on right now. Interesting that the likes of Monero up 2.6% despite everything else that's currently going down, and Binance Coin also down 2.5%, which is usually one of the ones that stays a bit more stable, I guess, when we're in the red. But that could be due to the hack that happened last week on Binance with an estimated, I think about 7,000 coins gone missing. So we'll see what happens there. But the Bitcoin price is currently sitting at about $6,776, with an analyst believing that Bitcoin could take a real run around $7,000 this week. We haven't seen that for a while, actually. And there are a lot of factors behind this, but with cryptocurrency, news and therefore sentiment is always the biggest factor. And the news in this case may well have been the several steps South Korea is taking towards cryptocurrency acceptance. Now, firstly, a new report published by the Bank of Korea concludes that crypto asset investment is not really big compared to with other equity markets, and local financial institutions' exposure to the possible risks of digital assets is insignificant. Further, the country plans to ease restrictions on crypto in line with policies of the G20 nations. And finally, South Korea is also said to be exploring the classification of crypto exchanges as regulated financial institutions. Now, moving on to Ethereum. Now, Ethereum has been on the rise, up almost 10% in the last week, but again, down 1.9% in the last 24 hours. And ETH is looking to go towards the $500 US mark, currently sitting at $480.42. Now, Ripple is a little down to the highs of 47 cents. That's where it's been sitting now. In the news late last week that a third class action lawsuit has been filed against the blockchain company for allegedly using the XRP token as an unregistered security to fund its business operations. Now, as we reported on this last week, Ripple chief Brad Garlinghouse only recently likened the XRP token to that of Bitcoin and ETH and asserted that it's not actually a security asset. Still on Ripple, Independent Reserve, Australia's first regulated cryptocurrency exchange, finally launched support for Ripple over the weekend. Now, they've been pretty much stuck on Bitcoin, ETH. I think it's just them. They might be a couple, maybe Litecoin for ages now. While the likes of CoinSpots, added dozens of different altcoins, let alone Ripple, and likewise BTC Markets has had Ripple for quite some time as well. In fact, a few of the people in the office actually have a theory that Ripple maybe bankrolled BTC Markets. I don't know if there's any truth behind that. It's just a bit of a theory there and a fun one to think about. Now, still in Australia, Singapore-based exchange, Huobi. I have no idea how to pronounce these. I'm not even going to try. Again, something everyone talks about, but I can't quite get it. Has also announced big plans to launch in Australia. It's not going to have its full suite of coins, but it's going to be here, and it's surely going to disrupt the existing players. Yeah, we can see the news here from finder.com about it being in Australia. Now, it's among the top exchange in the world based on 24-hour trading volume, and it's going to be interesting to see if that liquidity and that volume is going to be taken advantage of in the Australian market as well. Now let's take a look at NEO, which after spiking to almost $42 and 10th in the market cap rankings last week, has now fallen back to just under $40. Now why? Now, some analysts are pointing to NEO's announcement that it has begun to reduce its control of the network. Now, that said, this is probably a move in the right direction, as there have been critics of NEO's level of decentralization. Now, Tezos, meanwhile, the controversial Tezos token, ranked 19th by market cap, saw a dramatic sell-off, dropping its price last week to a low of around $1.10. The token is up almost 20% in the last 24 hours, back to above the $2 mark. All this after Tezos launched its betanet this week, a year after its record ICO and subsequent lawsuits. Now, there's a lot to this story, and it's worth digging into deeper yourself if you've got the time. And Zilliqa. Now, Zilliqa, the Singapore-based blockchain platform. Fans call it a potential Ethereum killer, but I feel like there's a potential Ethereum killer every week. Every new blockchain is a potential Ethereum killer, and we're yet to see one. So take that with a grain of salt. And you might remember the token's price sparked 45% after being listed on Binance back in March. And it went on an absolute tear week on week, hitting as high as 0.092 cents, so about 9 cents. $0.092, which is about 9 cents in the last couple of days, before currently leveling off to about $0.084 or 8.4 cents. Some of that momentum looks to be coming from Binance's Bitcoin pair as well as the Korean exchanges. And you might remember the surging gains from Ethos as late. Now, the token has since dropped by 25% and is sitting at $1.67 right now, which still means it has held some of its gains. So what is going on with Ethos? Now, after its developers said a big announcement was in the works, the crypto community started to wonder what that might be. Could it be a major Wall Street announcement? It turned out to be the launch of the Ethos Universal Wallet. This allowed people to store tokens on a mobile phone, and the wallet is now available in the US, Netherlands, and Germany. And EOS has dipped a little to about $8.73 right now. As we see here, I was on the heat maps we're looking at before. It was about 4.99% that's dropped, so 5%. And the latest news from that project, EOS this week has launched a $1 billion venture capital arm. The news came from EOS's creator, Block.One, who confirmed that the fund's CEO will be Michael Alexander, former CEO in the Asia for major global investment banking firm, the Jefferies Group. Now, as you may remember, Alexander will be joined at Block.One in Hong Kong by former Commonwealth Bank of Australia CFO Rob Jesudason, who left the bank in May. And now we've got our good mate, Trader Cobb from tradercobb.com, who's been on the show a few times in the last few weeks, who does some amazing technical analysis on crypto. He's been doing financial trading for decades, and he's taken this and he's just smashed it into the crypto market and using all that to help us out. Now, Craig has agreed to contribute some regular analysis to Crypto Finder and has put together the following analysis that, as always, you can really learn a lot from. Now, speaking of which, he also runs courses where you can get the know-how from the master that you see here. So you can sign up for that at tradercobb.com. Here it is now. Take a look at Trader Cobb's video this week.
G'day everybody, it's Trader Cobb here. Hope you've had a great weekend, fantastic weekend. I'm actually up here in my place in Noosa Heads, enjoying a bit of time out. I've been doing a lot of travel lately, Malaysia, Hong Kong, running around the world, and I thought it was a really good time to get myself, and you know what, live the lifestyle that a trader can live. I can trade anywhere I want in the world, and I choose to be in Noosa for the next week or so. But that doesn't matter, I'm still going to be trading, I'm still going to be looking at the markets, and if anything, it actually means I'm a little bit more relaxed, and I often find better trades when I'm in a better headspace. So, Let's run through and do our top 10 as we do, showing you what's going on. Starting with Bitcoin, because I tell you what, it's been an interesting world of Bitcoin lately. What do I mean by that? Well, let me show you something. I can't quite seem to work it out. Look, we're seeing these big spikes, yeah? Big spike, ba-boom, buying, ba-boom, buying, ba-boom, buying, boom, buying. And what we're seeing, what we had seen when these big buying spikes came in was it sold off and the momentum continued to shift to the downside. We are starting to see that change a little bit here. Look, big buy up, just an opportunity to sell more, right? Big buy up, well, it sold off a bit, but it held. It doesn't do a great deal until the next spike up, and as you see, big spike up, pulled back again, but held a bit of ground. Big spike up, pulled back, gave most of it back, and then over the weekend we saw one spike, whooshka, and we're sitting around that 6,700 zone. What are these spikes? I don't know. By virtue of the way that I trade, which is looking for optimal chart structure, and that is clean, smooth, flowing, trending charts. That's what I need to have. Because of these spikes, it's not conducive of clean, smooth flowing. The buying that we're seeing is coming in short, sharp waves, and it's not so sustained and long term, which means that we don't have as good a trends in the market at the moment. That being said, Bitcoin now must be looked at a little bit more bullish right now. We've broken up through this most recent high here. Now, although that's not making this technically a strong uptrend, we do have a little bit of significance on that. Now, if we break above this high here, which will be the old lower high, that will have broken that downtrend entirely. So Bitcoin, I'm looking to see if we can continue to push to the upside. I want to see some sustained buying. I don't just want to see these big spikes because it's not very tradable like that. Fine if you're an investor, and hey, let's be honest, the market's at least moving the right direction at the moment, just not real tradable at this stage. Ethereum, on the other hand, against the dollar, we can see here is a clear higher low, and we've just broken up to a new higher high. Technically, it's in a daily uptrend. I'll be honest, it's a very new one. It's not the strongest of daily uptrends, but there is some positivity coming back in. Having a look now at the weekly, still looking at like this. The moving averages are still in a downtrend. That cradle zone that I trade from for my trading strategies at tradercobb.com, that there is something that it's definitely not bullish, but we're starting to see that daily turn into a bit more of a bullish zone. Am I trading it right now? No, I want to see it stretch its legs out a little bit more. I want to see a nice clean series of higher highs and higher lows. And although we do start to have that right now, it's just not quite enough. Bitcoin Cash, look, if I'm honest with you, it's looking pretty ugly. It still looks quite bearish at this stage, although we do have what could potentially be a higher low. And this would be a nice clean higher low. What I mean by clean is this. There's our lower high, and then we've got a clean pullback. This clean pullback, if it is to represent a higher low, i.e. it will only be that if we do see price break above this level, because that would mean that the old lower high, slow down here, the old lower high will have broken to a new higher high. And at the same time, we'll have a higher low. Higher highs and higher lows equate to an uptrend. Lower highs like this and lower lows like this are a downtrend. So for the time being, nothing's going on until, of course, we break up through here or we continue to move down. It's just kind of sitting on its heels and not doing a great deal. EOS also holding its ground after pulling back up into this cradle zone. It's held, it's holding. This could potentially be a higher low. It didn't do a great deal last week. Let's be honest with ourselves here. This is last week, not a great deal of price action going on throughout that period, and it's represented here on the 4 hour by a very, very boring, sideways, ugly looking trend, or chart, I should say. Cardano, in this very similar sort of boat, it did have a pretty decent pullback though. I mean, you look at where we've moved from and we moved to. That's quite a decent move. Of course, not so big for crypto, but it has moved back up into this zone. Now, of course, again, a very slow weekend, a very slow week last week. This could potentially set a higher low, but only will be in an uptrend if we break through this high here. So keeping an eye on that as well. Lumen holding higher low. Again, if we break up through, they're very similar across the top 10 at the moment in the sense that there's potential for these trends to move or reverse to uptrends on the daily, but we haven't seen it happen yet. So whilst we haven't seen it happen, we need to be cautious, trading cautiously, being aware of what is and what is not. Now, NEO, as you can see, the new candles are just printed. NEO has a massive move over the last couple of weeks from what, $26 or $27 all the way to $47, $48, $49. A very, very big move. In fact, the biggest performer in the entire top 10. Of course, this lower high has now been broken. We do not have a daily uptrend yet. It has just been a surge to the upside. Now, opportunities present themselves when we get good moves, and this is the sort of thing we look for. A move on a pullback into this cradle zone bullish candle. As you can see, it's had a little move there, nothing quite strong enough for opportunities today, but I will be keeping a close on. What sort of things will I be looking for NEO? Well, on this 4-hour time frame, if we can print a higher low and break above here, we'll have a higher low, higher high. That's a 4-hour uptrend. At that moment in time, I will start to look for things like my Fibonacci booster strategy on the lower time frames for intraday trading opportunities. Crypto cradle trades on the 2-hour, even the 4-hour, and Bitcoin breakout trades. These are the 3 trades that I teach in my courses. These are the 3 techniques that I use day in and day out, and that's what I'll be looking for, but not until that trend becomes a lot stronger than what it is. IOTA looking bearish, if anything, guys. It really is sitting there holding around that old support and resistance level. It's not massively significant right now because it has been broken, but if you have a look here on this weekly time frame, check it out. We've pulled back up here and we're rejecting, and we're just sort of definitely looking more bearish than bullish. That being said, of course, you know, the what's the old saying say? Rising tide lifts all boats. And if Bitcoin and the market itself can start to rise, and of course IOTA will join the party there, but right now it is looking more bearish than bullish, but just not tradable at the moment because it's in no man's land on the 4-hour. Ripple against the dollar, very sideways, guys. One thing to note is we have come and reached this old support. That old support was the 6,500 level on Bitcoin, which we broke below. Ripple has so far held above that. A very nice position for a potential higher low if we break above here, and if we see that again, it will be another of the top 10 in an uptrend. Litecoin looking very, very average, if I'm honest with you, grinding lower again as it has done. But if we look at the 4-hour, I mean, I'm a trader of trends, guys. Clean, optimal chart structure. This has been a mess for a long, long time. So again, another one in that top 10 that we just need to be careful of. So to wrap up, my scan on this top 10, it is time to be patient for the beginning of the week. We are starting to see some momentum coming back to the bulls, but the way we're seeing it through these big spikes, it's a little bit concerning for me. It's not sustained, and I want to see some sustained trends move in. Yesterday's candle, as we see, very small and just bearish. But if we can break above the high of this candle here on Bitcoin, if we can break above the high here, and we can do it without these silly spikes that really lead to no man's land, other than, yeah, our investments are improving, but our trading opportunities are not. If we can break above here, then would be another little tick box of bullishness. I trade using written checklists, guys. That will be one of the little checks that I look for the bulls returning. I am being very cautious to start the week off because I do not have enough signals, enough conviction in the market just yet. So stay tuned. We'll keep an eye on this. We'll keep an eye on what's going on throughout the week. Jump across to tradercobb.com to find out more information. You can follow me on Twitter at Trader Cobb, same on Facebook as well, and on TradingView. So have a great week, guys. I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.
That's it for today's show, guys. Thanks, Trader Cobb, for coming on. Hope he taught you some stuff. Make sure to suss out tradercobb.com and take a look at the analysis that he does there and his courses that he runs to help you really nail crypto. But I hope you enjoyed today's show. Please share and subscribe, and remember to hit the notification bell on YouTube so you don't miss a thing. That's it for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow.